All right, what's up, YouTube? We're here at Locals with James Polk.
What is it?
And he's gonna show us his deck.
No, I don't need that.
Yes, sir. So right now,
like three
I'm
of
playing Last Word from Another Planet. In case you don't know what it is that when this card is special summon, destroy every other monster I'm in control of except for this card. And as long as he's face up on the field, nobody normal, nobody flip, nobody special summon.
Awesome. How many of those do you play?
3 copies worth of the Last Warrior.
Awesome. All right, let's see the rest of the deck.
Sure.
Can I read that while you're going through the rest of the deck?
Sure. For starters, it is 3, Somebody the Doc. He is one of the materials for Last Word from Another Planet. He is sitting at 2100 beater. He cannot attack your opponent directly, and whenever he destroys a monster, he loses 200 attack.
That's amazing.
One of my powerhouses on board. And then I just got the Marikutai as of last 2 Saturdays ago.
How'd you get that?
I only paid $1 from Ben. And when it comes to Marikutai, he's the Doom Caliber for spells.
Awesome.
And he's just a level 3 Wonder Monster with 900 attack.
Excellent. Next monster.
Then currently 2 King of the Swamps, because it is decent helping me out to search out for polymerization. And I had to admit that whenever I'm running out of ideas for the King of the Swamps, this is where I gotta take some shortcuts by using some of the spell track cards, which is going to be shown later on in the deck profile.
All right.
So King of the Swamps lets me discard, get a poly out the way.
Awesome.
Currently 2 Earth Hex Seals. I actually got
Just
the
2.
I actually got the 3rd one on the side though.
On the side?
Yep, because when it comes to Earth Hex Seal, he lets me substitute as one of the fusion material monsters, and if I use Earth Hex Seal without poly for the effect, once that monster hits the grave, can't come back. But as a matter of fact, earlier today, I just read about the effect of Earth Hex Seal fusion.
Yeah.
The minute that if I use the effect of Earth Hex Seal without knowing that I use that poly, once that Last Warrior hits to the graveyard, it can't come back.
Oh man. Well, let's see the rest of the deck.
Currently, the 2 Prismas. I'm still going on another search for getting myself a 3rd copy of Prisma.
If you guys have any Prismas, make sure to send them our way so we can get him his 3rd one.
True. And when it comes to Prisma, it lets me show you my opponent one of the fusion material monsters and send one out of the 2 fusion materials from that to graveyard.
Excellent.
And until the end of the turn, it becomes that sent monster's name.
Of course. How could I forget? Next monster.
Planet Pathfinder.
What does that do?
Whenever I can tribute him, just so I can get a field spell out.
Just a field spell?
Yep. Basically, Fusion Gate for starters.
Wow, that's insane.
Basically, this is like one of my monster versions of terraforming.
Excellent. Why didn't you just play terraforming?
For one, I just because when it comes to those terraformings though, I'm just starting to run out of ideas about like what cards to put in that build.
All right.
Yep. Vortex Shupa.
Yep.
He's a rookie in my new build. In case you don't know what
Just
Vortex,
a rookie?
Yep, in my build. In case you don't know what Vortex Shupa does, is that when this card's number summon, I can shuffle the 2 cards from my hand to deck, and then when this card and draw 2 more cards. And when this card is destroyed, I'll draw 1 more card.
Wow.
Yep.
How do you do it?
Basically, he's just one of my rookies out there.
All right.
And 3 out of the 5 duels, I actually use the effect of it. 3 out of the 5 duels.
3 out of the 5?
Yep.
All right.
DD Crow.
Of course.
And I feel like whenever I'm in a matchup against like Dragon Rulers or Satellas or Shadows, I can just pitch in that Crow just so I can banish out 1 card.
Just pitch it in?
Yep.
All right.
That's it for the monsters.
Just them. All right. Let's see the spells.
For the spells,
You just threw those cards at
the staples.
me.
1 day apiece. We both draw a card,
Yep.
and until the end of my opponent's turn, nobody takes damage.
Oh my God.
Book of Moon, everybody knows what's up with Book of Moon.
Everybody knows, James.
Book of Moon is just Book of Moon. Make that monster go face down.
Play it at 3, play it at 1.
Let's hear about this last staple card right here.
And when it comes to Dimensional Fissure, any monster ends up in the graveyard gets banished instead.
Wow.
Because to me, I feel like whenever I'm in a matchup against like Satellas or Shadows, which I wish I had a chance to, but going against the Shadows, it makes me feel like once I put out the D-Fissure, basically, like, if they try to use, when it comes to Shadows, if they try to use cards or effects from the graveyard, this is where they're wrong. D Fissure just comes in and just, they can't use the effects at all.
Man, they're just wrong. Let's see the next cards.
Nightbeam?
Oh man.
Nightbeam, this is one of my newest cards. And out of all those 5 duels, they'll just never even draw this card once.
Never. So would you even play it anymore?
Never ever. I mean, like, I still would keep this in my main deck. I mean, like, out of those times, I hardly ever get a chance to draw that Nightbeam, though.
Oh man. Well, let's see the next card.
I mean, when it comes to Nightbeam, first of all, target a set spell track card your opponent controls. It gets destroyed. And one small problem for them, they can't use that targeted card in response to this.
Just a small problem, right?
Yep.
Just a small one.
Currently 2 Rhoda. I got that 3rd Rhoda on the side.
On the side, you just side it?
Yep. And when it comes to the Rhoda, it lets me get out of Prisma or Zombar because for Zombar, he's just a warrior. Which, of course, simply stated enough.
Of course. How could I forget?
E-Call as well. Elemental Arrow.
Search the Prisma. Gotcha.
Salvage, which basically, like, if my Mary Katais or the King of the Swamps is in the graveyard, I can just use that salvage just so I can get to them and just like from the graveyard, add them back to hand. 1,500 or less. And once I can get that King of the Swamps in or Mary Katais from graveyard to hand, I can just like use the shortcuts in order to access polymerization.
Just one?
Just the only one.
That's all you need?
Just the only
He
one.
does play Fusion Gate. We're going to get to that later.
And once I get my last warrior, you need something to keep it alive.
Of course.
This is where these currently these 2 comes in. Forbidden Dress, Forbidden Lance. The dress loses 600 attack. In return, can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects.
Yeah.
Lance loses 800 attack. In return, unaffected by any other spell track card.
Insane, James.
Yes, well, thank you, Max. I am. DDR, Different Dimension Reincarnation.
Yep.
Because to me, I feel like while my Dimensional Fissure is out, when my last warrior gets hit to the banished zone, which of course it never even just happened, this is where this card comes in. It lets me discard a card, get one of my banished monsters out, special summon it. And while I get last warrior face up on the field in attack position, Fairy Meteor Crush. When it comes to the Meteor Crush, the equipped monster attacks a defense position monster, pierce battle damage.
Oh man.
So basically, once I can get my last warrior in, play this, and then start doing some swinging all the time.
Swinging?
Yep.
Alright.
And last but not least, if I were ever to play with Last Warrior from Another Planet, you can't ever play this without Fusion Gate.
That's it right there.
When it comes to Fusion Gate right there, anybody can use it for Fusion Summon, but the downside catch, it gets banished instead of going to the graveyard.
Oh man.
Because out of 4 out of those 5 duels, I did use Fusion Gate at that point. And when my poly was such a drawback from that Solemn at that point, this is where the Fusion Gate comes in. And yes, that Fusion Gate lets me treat it as a poly.
Gotcha. Let's see the traps.
The traps, going over the staples.
Staples?
These 2.
Alright.
Boundless and Compose.
Alright.
Basically, like, if they ever trying to go for a little summon, while my last warrior is not out on board for now, if they ever try to go for a little summon or like try to go for an attack, the summon is for bottomless, 1,500 or more attack, it gets banished. Compose, if they ever try to like go for an attack or get summoned, I could just put it, make that monster go back in hand.
Of course.
Fusion Reserve.
Alright.
4 out of those 5 duels during the draw phase, this is where the Fusion Reserve comes in. Because to me, when it comes to Fusion Reserve, I can just like instantly show them Last Warrior from Another Planet, just so I can get either Zombar the Dark or Mary Kutai from the deck to hand. And another good side effect is that I can have polymerization from the graveyard and it comes back to hand. So that way I can make more chances into getting Last Warrior.
Of course.
2 Reckless.
Just 2?
Yeah, just 2. I mean, like, chances are, like, who knows when I can get that Last Warrior in. Reckless is just reckless.
It's pretty reckless.
No pun intended. The one and only Battle Guard Howling.
One and only.
Yep. I feel like whenever I'm in a tough challenge, I mean, like, basically, imagine this way. Like, if I ever see, like, a face-up Dante or the Construct or Winda and all, if they try to, like, go after my last warrior, I could just trigger that Battle Guard Howling to make sure that they can take that biggest amount of damage and then it goes back to hand.
Stay there.
Great.
Call it a Haunted?
Just one?
Yep, just the one.
That's all you need?
Yep, just so I can make sure, like, while my last warrior's not out on board, I can just have Zumbire the Dark come back
Instantly.
And while I get the last warrior out, he has another thing coming in for last warrior.
Oh, man.
2 Light of Interventions.
Just 2?
Just the 2.
Alright.
Just in case it's the first one is dead to me, I can have the second one just go for a little replace.
It's dead to you?
Yep. I mean, like, basically, if they try to, like, MST it or Death Tornado or whatever, I can have the second one come in.
All right.
And when it comes to Light of Intervention, nobody sets face-down monsters.
Nope.
Nobody. Not even Shadal players?
Not even Shadal players.
All right.
I mean, like, to me, this is a little small tip of Light of Intervention.
Small tip?
While I currently see face-down monsters, the minute I play Light of Intervention, the face-down monsters are currently unaffected until flipped or being destroyed, basically. And once I can get the last warrior lights in, though, basically, nobody. We're both locked in. We're both locked in. And I've been doing this 2 out of the 5 duels.
2 out of the 5?
Yep.
Not bad.
And it's been only the 2. And if I were ever to keep the Light of Intervention going, Imperial Customs.
Oh, man.
Face-up continuous traps are never destroyed by card effects except for this.
Never.
Never ever.
Next card?
And when it comes to the last warrior, if they ever try to kill it like Torrential Tribute or Dark Hole or anything like that, 2 Dark Bribes.
Just 2?
And the huge revolution is over.
It's over.
Yeah. Now the Dark Bribes, I feel like this is a safer move for me though. Just like I'll even let my opponent get that chance to draw cards though. It's just by the time I end up doing something crazy. By the time my opponent ends up doing something crazy to him, like Dark Hole or Torrential and just whatever, this is the next card comes in. The Huge Revolution's over. When it comes to the Huge Revolution, whenever a spell, trap, or effect monster's effect is active, that will destroy 2 or more cards, negate the activation, and banish it.
Banish it.
It's like Starlight Road, but way worse.
Way worse. Why
Way
did you
worse.
just play Starlight Road?
Nah, no, I don't got Stardust Dragon in my build.
Oh, okay. That's the other build?
Yep. Side,
Of course.
the 3rd Earth Hex Seal, as I mentioned to you about.
Yep.
Fusion Sage. I feel like Fusion Sage is the replacement from King of the Swamps. And Fusion Sage lets me get a polymerization
We
instantly.
usually side that in.
Yep.
Okay.
Double summon.
Of course. Got
2.
normal summon twice, right?
Yep.
Yep.
3rd Rotor on the side.
Just on the side?
Yep.
Why don't you want to main the 3rd one?
To me, I did this the first 2 duels. It's just I feel like whenever I get an opening hand that involves like at least 1 or 2 Zombiros or Prismas, this is where like it's a bit too early. It just flaws out of there. So I would decide to side in the 3rd Rotor.
Okay.
War Return to Life.
Of course.
Well, remember the mentioning about Earth Hex Seal and that last warrior?
Yep.
To get around that thing, Warrior Return to Life lets me get that monster from graveyard and it goes back to the extra deck. Instead of hitting the field, it goes back to the extra deck. 2 Magic Deflectors. I feel like when it comes to Magic Deflectors, it's somewhat risky for me to play those. But it's just, I decided to side in and just like wait to use those momentarily. But in that case, when it comes to Magic Deflector, it negates field, quick play, equip, and continuous spell cards throughout the whole turn. Memory loss.
What does that do?
Whenever a face-up a type position monster was planning to activate its effects, I can just have memory loss active, make that monster's effects negated, and it goes in defense.
Of course.
Unbreakable Spirit.
That's unbreakable.
If this is my only 1 face-up monster I'm in control of, whichever the monster who got the lowest attack, that's how much it gains off from that 1 monster of mine. Basically, like Last Warrior, use that Unbreakable Spirit. Just like hopefully I can just get some attack and just like do some decent damage. Chalice on the side.
What does that do?
When it comes to Chalice, gets the extra 400, but unfortunately effects are negated.
Effects are negated?
Yep. I mean, like, unfortunately, like, even if I were to use that Chalice on my last warrior, although effects are negated, but the good side effect is that I can still perform more summons. So basically, like, just head back to the spell real fast.
Head back. I don't know if we have time for that.
Basically,
you know what? We're gonna
Get
go
all the
back.
plays, man.
Oh, we gotta get them all.
Basically, like, if I were to go for a second last warrior, the second last warrior's effect active chain to this dress to the first last warrior to make sure both last warriors on the field instant.
All right.
That's broke.
What else we got in the side deck there, James?
Fusion recovery.
Of course.
After using polymerization, lets me get that poly out of the graveyard and one of the fusion materials monsters used for it.
Excellent.
And then got us with the third eye.
What is this though?
She is the substitution of one of the two fusion materials. To me, I feel like if I could just use that for either poly or fusion gates, and then this is where, if I ever get, and I use her effect like 2 out of the 5 duels as well.
2 out of the 5?
Yeah.
Alright. But she's in the side deck.
You sided her in a lot?
No. Well.